I have to confess, I love looking at maps. I can pore over a map for ages, whether it's a world atlas or an OS map of the UK. It's really interesting, I find, seeing where places are that you've heard of and how big some countries are. Might sound a bit boring to you, but the more I thought about it, the more I realised, though, that my fascination is because looking at places on a map starts me off imagining what it's like being there. And if I might actually go to that place, then that's really exciting. About 35 years ago, we decided to have a holiday in the Dordogne area of France and to drive there. I'd never been to France before. Of course, I planned a route on the national roads, mostly avoiding motorways, so we could see more of France as we travelled down there. It was great anticipating going through some of the places I'd only heard of through geography or history lessons at school. But when we actually got there, the map and the school lessons came to life. I'd no idea that French towns and villages were so different in style to the English ones. And then there was the experience of lunch with real French baguettes and cheese. You don't get that experience from looking at a map. And when it came to crossing the Loire, I realised how significant and imposing it was. A blue squiggle on a map just didn't do it justice. Mostly, though, I pore over local OS maps to plan where we might go for a walk on a day off. The contour lines give an idea of where we might get a big view, and if there's a path through a green area marked with tree symbols, I start imagining being there, anticipating the dappled light in the wood if it's a fine day. Looking at places where the walk goes along a thin blue line for a while makes me wonder if it's going to be a shiny, fast-flowing stream. But when we actually go on the walk, there's so much more. The twists and the turns and the surprises, the details, the flowers I wasn't expecting to see, and the birdsong that couldn't be predicted, or the mud, and the smell of damp leaves and mosses, and I feel breezes on my face. I might hear the sound of that stream. And when we get to the hilltop, wow, there's the massive expanse of sky and the movement of the clouds and seeing those hills going off into the far distance. It's like going from flat 2D with a very limited pastel colour palette to 3D plus 5 sensors on full alert and a stunning range of colour tones that are constantly changing and moving and sparkling and shadows. And, well, you probably know what it's like going on a walk in the Gloucestershire countryside. Thinking about the difference between looking at a map and actually being in the place gave me a new-to-me perspective on something that Jesus said to his followers the night he was arrested and when he knew he was going to be put to death. He told them that he was going away to prepare a place for them, a new home, but that he would come back and take them there. Naturally, one of them said, "Well, we don't know where you're going, so how will we know how to get there?" And then Jesus gave this strange answer. He said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." I wondered if reading about God in the Bible or other books, discussing theology and hearing sermons and lectures on faith is a bit like looking at a map, because it will give me lots of information and ideas, and sometimes it might whet my appetite for the experiences I read about. But there's actually an invitation to be connected with the divine through Jesus and the Spirit whom he sent. And then you start to experience the real life version of what has been just 2D. Well, I think there's a lot more to explore.